So right now they're waiting for you. Wait, they're counting. Good evening, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here. It's another month, and this is a special month. But before I get into it, my name is Rina Hicks, and I am the host of MoneyWise. And before we move, can you please subscribe? There's a little red button written subscribe in white. Click on it and click on the notification button so that as the videos come on and as we share additional content, you are aware of what's coming, and then you can be a part of it. But it's fantastic to have you here. If you are joining us, please tell us where you're joining us from. Say hi so that I know that you're here with me, and we'll be able to just walk this journey together. Now, this month we are celebrating International Women's Month, and today's show is really in honor of women. So the content we have today is not just for women, but it's in honor of women. And I have a lady with us today, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you. But before I do that, I want to tell you about something that we are doing this month. And so, you know, we partnered with Africa's Pocket, and we have a program called Investable. And Investable is a program that helps you understand how to invest, where to begin, how to figure out what your values are, to figure out what your goals are, to set those goals and invest in line with your goals and your values. Understand the different investment options that exist. Take away the confusion that's usually there with all the different opportunities that are there, and we will help you think through them, know what the red flags are, and be able to invest with confidence. So if you want to learn a little bit about that and perhaps even join the wait list, we have a link in our description box that you can click and you'll be able to understand what they are. We have a free guide for you, so download it, read the guide because it's free and we have good content for you, and then you can join the waitlist. Now, on today's show, I have with me Sarah Karingi. Sarah Karingi is a serial entrepreneur. She's a mentor, she's a coach, well, a mentor, a trainer, and an author. And she's here to share her story with us and to encourage those of you who are in business, are thinking about going into business one day, so that you know how to prepare yourself and how to overcome the setbacks that are sometimes characteristic of this journey. So without further ado, Sarah Karingi, welcome.
Thank you very much, Rina. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for the invitation. As you have introduced me, that is who I am.
Yes, so tell us a little bit more.
Yeah.
Tell us a little more, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so here I'm ready with my story. And yes, I'm Sarah Karingi. I'm a proud mother of two, a grandmother of two. And besides that, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, a speaker, an award winner in entrepreneurship and business networking. And I'm also an author. Now, about Sarah, let me say that I'm a widow, and I'm proud to say that even widows succeed in spite of the challenges they face. Just like the way you can face challenges, they too face challenges. And I would like to say that I lost my husband in 2006 after an illness. 2003, then he died in 2006. So before I was working for the government, I was a civil servant, and so I had to quit employment. So I was thrown into entrepreneurship, not because I really wanted to be an entrepreneur, because my husband, who was an architect and he was also in construction, could not work. So I had to quit employment and take care of him. But unfortunately, he died. He left me with two children who, of course, I had to take care of. you see, before we were sharing duties, and so this time I had to be the father and the mother of the children. I had to take care of the businesses, and the businesses that he left behind were in construction.
Okay.
He also left a business where we were manufacturing wooden products, namely the doors, the frames, the floors, things wooden. Very beautiful wooden products. That is what we do till today. It was not an easy journey. Then he also had started a business, a water business, where we dug a borehole. We were actually supposed to supply water to ourselves, but we later realized where we live, which is Membly, there was no water, so people requested us for water. So we started piping water to people's homes. So later was to also now grow the business, and besides now taking water to people's homes using pipes, I bought a lorry, which now I would send people, deliver water to people's homes, because there are those who are saying, you see, your piped water can't reach us, so how can you get us the water? So I realized there was that need. So as a business person or entrepreneur, you have to listen to what your customers are asking for.
Wait, I want to take you back a little bit before you go into the entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
You said you were you were a civil servant.
Yes.
And then you quit to look after your husband,
Yes.
who was now ill. So were you helping him with the businesses while you were in employment? Were you helping him with the businesses?
Not really. You know, I was feeling like this is his business. I'm also working, so why should I really take so much interest in the business? And I felt like maybe I was going to interfere. But my involvement in his business, at the end of the month, I would go to do for him accounts. So I would check the accounts, and I would tell him where I think things are not really okay. Otherwise, the running of the business, I was not really doing that. Other times when he could not go and source for materials for the constructions that he was doing, I would go on Saturdays, maybe like once a month. I source for him, look for prices, the best prices, and of course I tell him, I've got this particular shop, this is where I've seen good quality products, so if it is chuma, and then of course he would later of course now go and buy. Otherwise, that is, I wouldn't see I was running the business. So I taught myself how to run the business after he passed on. It was not an easy journey.
That's amazing. So how did you, I heard you once say,
Yes.
that if Sarah can rise from the ashes,
Yes.
any of you can.
Yes.
Now, how did you rise? You see, so now he's passed on, your mourning.
Yeah.
You don't have a job because
Yes.
you quit. You quit
Yes.
to look after him.
Yes.
I'm sure the businesses during the time that he was ill perhaps were not doing as well as they could have.
No.
Where did you start?
Yes, when he was sick, I focused more on his health. So most of the times he was in and out of hospital. And then of course, there are times he would lack even money to even pay the hospital. So there's a bill, a very big bill, which was left behind.
Okay.
So I had to sort that one after his death. And then there were also loans that he had taken. Of course, I was involved as well. He never used to do things behind my back. So at least I was aware of what he was doing. So I had to think quickly, what do I do with these loans? And then, of course, the bank was running after me that you have to pay the loan. And, it was not really easy. And so what I did was, yes, I have to, one thing I had to do was to accept that it's not there. There were times when I used to cry, but then I would realize that, you see, crying is not going to help you because these things are there. They are real and you have to take care of them. And so that is how I sat down and I wrote down exactly what was ahead of me, what I was supposed to do. And I started with the easier ones first. So any debts that we owed, I would get money from, say, some of the businesses he has done. And by God's grace, he had put up an apartment where I was able to get some money. Okay. Then after that, I said, if Moses, who led the children of Israel from Egypt, was asked by God, what do you have in your hand? I looked at myself and I said, my husband had bought some few pieces of land in my name. And I said, why can't I just dispose of what I have? I clear the debt so that I get less stress. And that is how I started that journey.
He bought some pieces of land in your name or in joint names?
In my names. He would buy Some in my names, others in his names, and others in the company names, where I was a director.
Wow.
Yes, so I disposed of those, and because of course, you know, the administration of wealth and all that, of course, how it takes long here in this country. So by God's grace, I was able to sell off and clear the loans. Then I went to the bank, and I talked to the manager, who could not listen to me. He kept telling me, you see, this loan is long overdue, you have to pay. So I decided to go and see the CEO, who helped me through a friend. So that is why I really cherish networks. And when I see that I'm the queen of networking, and of course networking really works, that's when I started realizing the importance of people. So this lady, had met her in Dubai, so she connected me to the head of that bank, who now gave me a letter to take to the bank, and of course, so they extended the time for me to pay. So from that time, then of course, I started relaxing, and so I realized, oh, so if I talk to people, or I connect with people, I build that relationship, it means those people can help me. You see, before I was just in the office, so I used to still build relationships with people then, but I didn't know I would apply some of those skills or tactics in my life, and particularly in business. Yes.
Wow.
So now when I lost, now after 5 years, now of course struggling with the businesses, trying to build houses that of course I didn't have the skills of building, but I asked myself, I used to see my husband consult with the engineers and the architect. So I went to them and I told them, now you see, he's dead. I want you to now continue. We see, of course, the clients were like, this woman will not be able to continue. So I think we need to take away the business from her, or the houses from her. And I went, and very bravely, I was very strong and very bold, and I said, I will finish the houses for you. I didn't have the skill, but I knew these people who are around him would help me to continue the buildings. And so I was able to finish. So it's just a matter of believing in yourself and talking to people and requesting them to help you. And you always find someone to support you and help you. That's how I did it. Yeah.
Wow. I think, in that season when somebody is going through mourning, you're overwhelmed. Beyond even thinking about finishing a project, you have so many emotions that you're going through. Did you first go through some kind of counseling and support? Did you have somebody holding your hand? I mean, how did you just get the boldness and the courage to go back and face employees who don't know you, really? To face contractors and architects who you have to introduce yourself to? How did you manage all of that?
Let me tell you, Rina, I think God was in it all. I didn't have any counselor. I didn't have friends. People just dispersed. You see, after the funeral, people would disperse. Even the church, when they say they'll come to see you, nobody came to see me. So I kept waiting, and I was like, I'll wait until when? And then things would come my way. Of course, City Council would be after me. KPLC, because of the business that was standing, they were after me. Something, they would come and disconnect the water. Anyway, I was so confused, and I was like, now, Sarah, what do you do? Do you know, I spent sleepless nights for 2 weeks. And I didn't know what to do. So I would try to sleep, and then I find, okay, there's light. So I didn't sleep. The following day would be like that. Then I decided to call my children. I told them, now you know what, Mom can't sleep. So to get comfort, I told now my son to lie on I put a mattress in the bedroom. So he would sleep there, and then my daughter would sleep with me in the bed. And we would pray together. So they gave me a lot of comfort. And over time, I started feeling, now I'm gaining strength. And from there, we would also discuss with them and tell them, we need to be very close now, because you can see we are only the 3 of us. So let's pray and believe that God is going to help us. So I had to pray, and I had to read the Word of God, and somehow God revealed Himself to me. I got a lot of encouragement from the Bible, and I would face challenges, and I would say, I will make it. If this person in the Bible, if someone like David did it, why can't I do it? You see, if Samson, who had, of course, with Deborah, you know what happened, his story. He just believed in God, and he was able to shake that building, and it collapsed because, of course, what he was going through. I said, even me, I'll get that kind of strength. And so I would pray. Then I asked for wisdom. Everything I prayed for, I was asking for it in triples, that is in 3 times. Solomon was a wise man. God gave me wisdom 3 times. So there are times, of course, people would discourage me. Now he's dead, you are a widow, reminding you of that pain. And I said, now, at times I would be a bit rude. If you walked into the office and I see the way you look, I would somehow guess what you'd say. And I would tell you, if you've come here to tell me this, please don't mention my husband. He's not there. So there's some people be like, you know, if he was here, this is what he could have done. Why can't you do this? Why can't? And then after, like, he's not here, so please don't mention him. You are causing more pain to me. And yeah, and I decided at times I would not even encourage anybody to come to my office. I would just stay in my office and I think and I plan my things out. And of course, also asking a few people to help you. And in particular, I thank God, because you see, what I realized is that I had to talk to my managers in different companies, and they were kind enough to work with me. I had to humble myself, to learn, to listen, to ask relevant questions, and they held my hand. Okay. And they worked with me, and I'm with them till today. I thank God for them.
Is there anything you would have done different when your husband was running the business before he got sick?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, fair enough. There's women today, because, you know, we are celebrating the International Women's Month.
Okay.
And I was looking at a certain article, and it was quoting some statistics around how women, and this is global, that women generally are less confident than men when it comes to managing businesses and managing finances. A lot of women tend to be sort of avoiders when it comes to managing finances. They feel like somebody somewhere out there should be managing this. They went to school to manage this. They understand this better than I do. And so I need to give them the money to manage. And there's a certain perception, I think generally, because men are providers, that they somehow are born knowing how to manage finances and business. But it's not necessarily the case. I mean, actually, it's not true. We all learn. So I want you to speak to the women who are out there feeling inadequate, feeling like they don't know. So they either, you know, if they earn an income, they give the income to somebody else, a father, a brother, a husband, a partner to manage, or an agent out there to manage for them because they think they don't know. You know, a lot of women even today I was very surprised to hear from you that your husband bought you property, or rather bought land for the family and put it in your name. I'll just be honest. I have never heard of a case like that. So I want to hear from you. What is that? Like, how has that even happened? And what encouragement would you have for women out there who perhaps are not feeling as confident as you are?
Let me tell you something. My husband was this kind of person who felt I was his partner. And anything he did for the family, in terms of business, in terms of helping even his relatives or my own relatives, we would sit and plan together. Okay. So I used to walk the journey with him. And so, can you imagine, even any bank account that he operated, I was a signatory. Okay. And most times, it's me who was operating the account. It was not him. So he'd tell me, go and withdraw for me this amount of money. There's even a time I remember he used to go to the bank, and then when I was not around, and then he would sign the signature, and the bank manager would chase him away and tell him, you know what, this is not, this signature is, yeah, because maybe we opened the account like 5 years.
Oh, his signature has changed.
Yeah, so it means, of course, this man really trusted me with money. And then I started learning that I cannot just go withdraw money. He trusted me to that point, because I would not just go withdraw this money, because I knew this is money he was using for the business and, of course, to build the houses he was building. And so why would I have to go and take money from there? So all the money that I was using was my money, which, of course, was my salary. And if I needed any money, I would tell him, sweetie, I need some money, maybe like 10,000 or 20,000. And because he was providing for everything, why did I need any more money? So from that time, I also learned how to manage money. And so what I would advise women is, you don't have to fear. Because you see, if I feared, it means I'm sure I could not have been able to continue with these businesses and grow them to the level they are at today. So now the same thing that the same way used to involve me in business, I also involve my children in business. My daughter right now is running the businesses very well. I've let her to run the finances, the employees, all the resources of the business, so I don't touch the money. So for my husband to have let me to operate, I think for me, that was a plus. So now also when it comes to money, I also think women, and I'll be excused to say this, but from my own experience is that, for example, how I handle the money is, when the money comes to the account, I already know what I'm supposed to do. So I plan in advance that this money will go to insurance, this money will go to for this kind of investment, this other money will go to build the business, and so. Also, whoever owns us money, there's someone to follow, of course, on that money. Instead of going to take more money from the bank to come and finance maybe some of the debts. And then the other thing is I also went to Strathmore University to learn how to manage a business as a professional. So women, we don't have to say, oh, I can't go back to class, oh, I'm too old, oh, it's only children who can go back to school. I'm sure even when I'm 90 years, I'll still be going back to class. Okay. I have to learn. So you have to learn how to budget the money, know why you are taking that money. And I'll give you a very good example. One time, when I was expanding our businesses, I went to my circle, which is United Women's Circle. I started saving some amount of money with the circle. So I realized if I take so much money, which is not really necessary, then I can spend it in a way that, of course, was not supposed to be, to happen. So what I decided to do was, I knew I wanted to buy a new lorry. I also knew I needed a new generator for our business. So I took the exact amount of money that I needed. And now, because I didn't want that money to hit my account, I just wrote a letter instructing my circle to give 5 billion shillings to Simba Colt Motors, and another check to be written to the person who supplied me the generator. So you just have to realize that if you do that, it's very hard for you to just waste money. So you have to have money management skills, which I do have. Yeah. Yes.
And if you don't have, what you're saying is go back to school, or get a course, sign up for a program, get a trainer, a coach to help you learn how to do it, so that you're not afraid. Yeah. Okay, there's another something that happened that we had talked about slightly earlier. At one point, one of your businesses literally burnt down.
Yes.
But somehow you recovered.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us a little bit about that and how you were able to recover from that particular challenge?
When I talk about that, at times I get a bit emotional because it happened on a Sunday. I had gone with my sister, we went to see my mom. So I was being called from up country. I come from Kirinyaga County. So we were just about to get to my mom's home. I received this call, where are you? This is happening. I'm like, where? Your place is burning, where? So I was thinking it's my home, your place of work. And I was like, what do you mean? And who is calling? And you see, that call was like a threat because, later, I think the second call that came, or the third call, I can't really remember if it was the second or the third. The person said, Mambo Kwisha. So I was like, what? Mambo Kwisha wapi? Then another lady calls me and tells me, why? Sarah, your place is burning up. So I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? I don't know. Come. I said, I'm sorry, I can't come, because you can imagine driving back, I wouldn't help. So I said, anyway, it's okay. Whatever will be left behind is what I will take. And because the call came at 1:30, of course it was arson. Then I get back, so I went, I told my brother, let's just go to our mom's home. So I went to my mom's home. We stayed until 4:30. Until sometime, then of course I got to work at 4:30. So when I got there, almost the entire place, 3/4 of the building had collapsed, where the machines and the production was taking place, because we processed timber, as I told you. And so I was like, now God, now what am I going to do? And you see, don't forget, there are still these loans that I'm trying to clear. There are these debts I'm also trying to clear. There are also these other businesses I'm trying to bring back to, life. And now here, when I was just about to start now doing soil, because you see, you can imagine convincing customers to come back, because when I started all over again, the customers had disappeared because the owner of the business was not there. And all the money was going to the bank, so there were no stocks as such. So when I started now, because he died in 2006, now again 2010 is when the building, of course, was set on fire. So my workshop was just like ashes. So there was so much fire. By the time now these firefighting extinguishers, trucks came, almost so much had been consumed. But I just looked, I watched, and you can imagine what somebody saw. So anyway, someone met me and was like, they used to call me Wamasharia, because my late husband's name was Karinge Masharia. Wamasharia, now of course you can imagine vernacular. You mean you are too strong? Me, I expected you to collapse. We take you to hospital. I was like, who? Me, I will not collapse. God is with me. And I looked and I was like, gosh. So I thought it was actually electrical fault. So later on, of course, KPLC people came, they checked. Although these people, of course, there was that call that came, somehow I didn't even try to connect that with that. But these people of KPLC came, they told me this is where the fire was dropped. You see, they showed me, and they actually see, and you could see there was so much of it. Of course, the way the burning had taken place, you could see there was some, it's like some maca that were thrown, you see. So, but what did I have to do? So I had to wait. I mean, they put off the fire. But you can imagine now, going back and looking at the ashes, and you're like, what do you do? And you know, people are not really kind. So some women came, they told me, now give us the charcoal. There was some charcoal because, of course, there was wood, there was so much, many stock. I mean, so much stock for customers. We've done for them doors, we've done for them so many things. All got burnt. And bows, and they all got burnt. So there was charcoal there. So instead of them even trying to offer to buy the charcoal from me, they're asking me to, I told them, go and fill up those bags and take the charcoal. And they did it, I think, for about a week. And then after that now, I had to sit and think quickly. So I said, now there's this guy who supplies my husband with spare parts. So I went to him. Of course, I broke down and I cried and I told him, now I have this problem. I want you to help me. And he was kind enough to give me spare parts for our machines. And he told me, you know what? Your husband planted a seed in this company. He used to buy spare parts from us. So because of that, I'm going to give you spare parts on credit until the time when you'll be able to pay, but you don't have to pay everything. Even if you make 1 shilling, you feel that's what you can pay, come and pay at that time. So in this world, there's some people who are kind. And that is how I was able to revive my business slowly by slowly.
So you didn't shut down that business completely?
No, I didn't shut it down. I tried everything. And you see, I was waking up very early in the morning. By 6:15, 6:30, I always used to be at work. I would take a stool and sit next to the engineer who was now repairing the machines all over again. Thank God there were machines which could be repairable. So, and then you see the times would put their bearings, then you run, and then it would crash again, because you see, of course, I had to get someone to come and do electrical works and all that. But then you can imagine how it actually took me 2 good years. 2 good years. And then you see, I was also operating from a place, an open workshop. Yeah. So I would build I would put my battery on each machine. And people are still laughing at me, but I didn't give a hoot. So what I did later on is when I joined now this network, this person came and told me, Sarah, I'll roof for you. So just look for the materials for roofing, and then you'll be paying me in bits and pieces. Okay. And that is what happened. That's why. So
what I hear you saying is that you went back and looked at who can give me help.
Yes.
And the first person you thought about is the person who can help you get the machines running.
Yes.
And so talked to them and asked them for help to give you the spare parts to be able to repair the machines, to at least begin to start production again.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And then next to the workshop, there is a house which belongs to us. So what I did, I realized now, because I didn't want my tenants to run away, and to first of all make sure, of course, I repaired now the windows and everything. I quickly did repairs, because of course that is where I would get now money from. So I had to work on that one first, and of course our tenants never disappeared. So you also have to think first, and then from there, then you carry on. You can make mistakes, and then you learn from those mistakes. But thank God I don't
it's just amazing. How do you not give up? Like, you just make a decision, I'm not giving up.
Yes. I've always, if you read my book, Overcoming the Impossible, you see, I think I have a very strong will. And this is something which my mom instilled in us when we were small. Discipline, hard work, focus, no giving up. That was my mom. So that is what I took, and I said, even if you try to press me down even today, I will not go down. Yes, I will not go down. Yeah, you can, you try to, you think, people at times they think they'll finish you, but you see, God also gives you another strength. Yeah. And if you pray and believe and have that strong will, you can go very far. You bring mountains which you think you can't bring down. You cover the valleys which you think you can't cover, and you walk miles that you at times think that you can't walk. But God is always there for us. If you are a believer, God is always there for us. And you can, I've achieved so much, I would say that, and I really thank God for that. And I've also helped millions of people. Yeah.
So I want to sort of change gears a little bit. And I want you to speak to the process of sort of setting place structures. You see, because you have done it yourself.
Yeah.
You did go back to school to sort of also get equipped on how to successfully run a business as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I think, at Strathmore, it must be the owner-manager program, I don't know, but they have some very good programs at Strathmore.
Yes.
So there are many people who are probably watching, or will watch this at some point, who are thinking about starting a business, or maybe are in business and the business has faced a huge challenge. So I want you to just sort of share some tips, some of the keys that you have that can help somebody think through and start to implement, how do I build a successful, sustainable business?
Number one is to set goals.
Set goals.
You have to set goals. You cannot just do things, in a haphazard manner, So you have to be organized. First of all, you have to decide this is what I want. Then from there, you start, of course, what SMART goals are. You see, you have to be very specific. What do I want? Even if you have maybe like about 20 goals, decide on the one you really want to do. And then before you even start a business, do research. Don't come and start doing a business like mine because you can see I'm successful. There are some people who keep on maybe like pumping money into a business from another source. And then you start thinking that this person is getting money from that business. No. So you have to decide, what business do I want and why do I want it? Is there a need? Identify the need. You see, like now the way we have the water business.
Yes.
There was that need. So when we actually sank the borehole and thought it was going to serve us only, there was that need. Within that area, there was no water. So that is when my husband said, why can't we just pipe this water to these people? There was that need. So identify a need. And any place or anytime there's a need, you always get a solution for it. So you have provide that solution. Then from there, sit down and write that goal. How much do you want to do and by when? You see, now when you know when you want to achieve something, you know the speed at which you get there. And so that is then also realize, of course, people are the ones who will help you to get what you need. People are very important. There is this Swahili that says, watu ni mali.
Watu ni mali.
Watu ni mali. So when you treat people well, they will equally return back that with goodness. So I realized now when I started taking care of my employees, I would listen to them. And you see some of them, actually all of them, because I call them to meetings, they realized that, of course, I listened to them very carefully and very attentively. And imagine they have ideas. So they're the ones who even told me, why don't we put a new generator? You see, now that time I was able now to put in a new generator because I listened to them. And they felt valued. Whoever told me that was felt valued. Another employee comes, my office is always open, and I work closely with my daughter because even now she has ideas. So we see it, we discuss and see what we need to do. And then we divide up the duties. Mom, there's this I can't do it, so let me handle this. Then we come together and we look at what we have achieved. If we haven't, I will ask, why have you not achieved your goals? This is what we said that we are going to do. So you have to have an accountable partner. My son right now, as we are talking, is working in Mombasa, in Coast, and he does his own business of tours and travel. Okay. But now you see, he's also a director in the company. So technology is good because it is helping us to solve issues or even to make things better. So we normally have conference calls. So they're the ones who do whatever they do, and then we have that call together. So my son will be like, he's not here, but he'll give you an idea. You're like, wow, it's good we even shared. Such that so we keep updating each other on what we are doing, because if we are partners, we have to know what is happening in the business, so that even if I'm not there, if my daughter is not there, at least my son will be able to know what is happening. You cannot do a business alone. Let your employees also know this is what we have done, this is what, and then of course you also make them happy. Like in our place, what we do, we normally have maybe once in a while we have cakes, or we shall have maybe nyama, we eat together, and then that time they are relaxed, so they will speak their mind. And they own the business, so they become good marketers for your business, you see. So even when you start a business, you have to take care of your customers who are within, and that I learned from Richard Branson. You see, so the more you read, the more you learn, and the more once you apply, you start seeing change coming to you. And so don't think that you are the only person who knows everything. Yeah. Even if these people are not as learned or as well equipped, with whatever you would say the knowledge, let me tell you, those people have so much. They become your eyes, they become your feet, they become your hands, they become your ears, and they tell you, what, I passed by this place, this is what I saw, how about if we could apply it in our business, because I can see those people are doing very well, you see. So of course, and you also have to be ahead of competition. Right. You have to do research. You have to find out what is happening in your industry. You just can't work blindly. You could be producing things which are already outdated. So what do you need to do? So, I mean, there's so much that you have to do in business. Always you have to keep on researching, you have to keep on talking to people, you have to keep on networking, getting information, getting ideas, sharing with them as much as possible, because that is the only way you'll be able to succeed in business. And then you'll always be ahead of other people. Going to institutions of higher learning, going online, finding out what you're supposed to do. And then you know what, even like the marketing now has changed. You don't have to even have people to keep market that you employ so many people to go and market for you. There is technology. Facebook, you see, like my daughter, the way she markets, that's an area that I wouldn't really talk about. But there are times she's able to get some customers from a certain area, and we see them coming to our business. So even like in 2020, when people are really complaining, that is when we were saying, now, let us sit and do something that other people are not doing. People are moaning about COVID-19, but what can we do? So what we decided to do is to change our business. We rebranded, we painted, and so people are like, wow, this place looks different. So you make your business very attractive that people can continue coming. Then from there, she, of course, continued marketing. Do you know those are the people who have been coming to buy from us today? So every time you have to keep on thinking, what can I do better? Yes.
Continually improving. And also visibility. You talked about social media.
Yes.
Visibility is important.
Very important.
Awesome. I want to talk about networking, but before we go there, because that's a big one, and you talked about networking and watu ni mali.
Yes.
I want to check what everybody is saying and where we are online, and the link as well, just on YouTube. So we have Crispin Omondi saying, very encouraging for couples, either trading together or not. Your story is very, very encouraging. I totally agree.
Thank you.
Trust is important in marriages, you see. Very true. Others are saying they're following, they're loving the conversation, they're super blessed, never give up, God is faithful. Somebody says, wow, I know Sarah. This is Doris. She says, I know Sarah, met her at Strathmore. She is a strong woman. Doris Kinoti.
Wow.
Thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions, Rosa Ching on Facebook says it's great listening to Sarah. Keep posting, send your questions or comments. We are here. And next, I want to hear about networking and the impact it has had on your business. I think you've told us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But I hear the question in my mind, and the question I hear everybody asking is, but okay, so where do I network? Like, how do I start? I wake up in the morning, I take my children to school if I have kids, or, you know, I have errands to do, I go to the office, or I go to my place of work, there's customers to serve, and then I have to go home and I have responsibilities at home. First of all, where do I get the time to network? Where do I start when networking is concerned? I know it's great, but I mean, what is the formula for networking? So please, just share a few.
Just a few tips, because if I start talking about networking, I'll talk about tomorrow. I think until next year, but I will try to shorten it as fast as I can, because I know there's not much time. I came face to face with networking when I was invited by a friend to a networking organization, and I just went to support her business, because I've always supported people all through ever since I was a small girl. And so when I went to see her, she told me, there's this Business Network International, let's go. And of course, as usual, people normally say, when they don't know about Rotary, they don't know about Lions Club, they don't know about BNI, they don't know about what, they say it's a cult. So she told me, you know what, before we go there, you know, I was told it's a cult. I said, you see, I was desperate because my business was down. I was still like, now, what do I do? I've lost customers. So now when I went to that network, I took time to learn. And networking is just about giving. Imagine if you gave me the information that I needed. You see, like the way that man helped me, he gave me that support. That is what is networking. Or someone who comes and tells you, no, you know, this idea now is outdated. How about buying a phone? Because you see, like now before me, I used to use a Mulika Mwizi. You see those phones which were it was very old. I didn't know, of course, the importance of first impressions. So when I started networking, is when I learned about the importance of first impressions. When I look at you, what do I see? Maybe do I see confidence? When you address, of course, you know, you feel confident and you feel good about yourself. So that is what you emit to other people, the world out there. When they look at you, what do they see? But as people say, me, I don't even have to dress properly. Excuse me, I tell people, you know what? You are not Richard Branson. You are not Zuckerberg, right? Because you see Zuckerberg wears t-shirts, you know, and you see, and then of course he wears sandals. As we have not gotten to that point. And the people that you meet, your customers, maybe the younger generation are different, but I have also been telling them, you know what, the people you are coming to ask for business are someone like me. So when I see you are shabbily dressed, I see you have not even taken a bath, I see you have not even combed your hair. Of course, it's like I cannot trust that I can do business with you. Yeah. So you have to look the part, you have to look good, you have to look confident. And so now when I joined this network, I realized that there were so many things I didn't know. I didn't know about the power of branding. So I learned how to brand. I even didn't know the importance of social media. I was very much against Facebook because at that time it was only Facebook which was there. I think LinkedIn came later. And so I was like, gosh, where was this? So I went learning. And then I had to learn to be patient because you see, when I joined, I took 2 years, no business, zero. And I had paid a whole, I think it was 65,000 Kenyan shillings then, annual, which was a lot of money for me then, because you see, of course, I was still recovering from that loss. And then after that, I realized now I would feel like people were a bit cold, and then you see, I didn't have the confidence, so people are not, of course, attracted to me as much, but later on I had to build now the confidence over time. And then you see, I had to change so many things about myself, the way I look, the way, everything about me. And so I went building confidence. Then after that, I also learned how to use, I didn't even know what a website was. Can you imagine, Rina, I would be driving and then I see www, and I was like,
what are we talking about? How long ago is this?
My goodness. In 2012.
Oh, you're kidding.
I didn't know what a website was. So I would see those signages, signboards.
www.
The three W's, what do they mean? So one of the members in that network stood that he was talking about, okay, your website, www.salakaringi.com, and we were like, no, what? Then I followed him. He taught me, and let me tell you, I left that place, and I told him I want you to come to my place, check my business, and do for me a simple website. So you know, when you meet people, you keep on learning new things. I also didn't know how to use laptops. I didn't know how to use computers because I was very ignorant. Why? Because they have viruses. So for me, I was like, why should I? And then I would see people using those laptops, and I would see them using computers, and I used to think they use a certain gel so that they don't get the viruses. So you can imagine how many people out here also are so ignorant about so many things.
So you thought the computer would make you sick?
Yes. So networking will expose you to information, to knowledge, to ideas, to people who will grow you and tell you, know what, Sarah, what is wrong with you? Yeah. You need to know this. And then also the art of being patient, because you see, I was like, if I was desperate, and that is why people make this mistake. They meet, maybe like I meet you. I need to build a relationship with you for you to trust me. Like now I came to you through Shege. If Shege wasn't my friend, I could not have really, who is this girl calling me? Why is she calling me? But because of Shege, when you mentioned Shege, I was like, if it is my Shege, let me come, because I know him. So when you build that relationship with people, they are the ones who will grow you and they connect you so easily. So it becomes so easy for career people.
Where do I start? How do I start with networking?
So for you not to start networking, you know what? There's online networking. This is something I've also been learning. You have to join groups that have similar interests to you. So if your work is maybe like, say things about media, go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, look for those people. Those people, you network with them, and they will start sharing ideas of what is happening in your industry. So you don't have to really network with someone who is at physical, always know, but also physical networking is very good because you see, I can bond, I can see your body language, I can feel like I'm connecting with you, you see. But you see, the problem with online networking is that until maybe you start now engaging people, and for you to start networking with someone, just start making positive comments about Sarah's, and they were like, this Rina girl, who is she? I'll start getting interested in you. So the moment you start now doing those small things, and many people just read Facebook, they see Shege has posted something, you don't bother. And then maybe Rina has said something, it is something which is qualitative, but you never even commend her. Yeah. That is where we go wrong. So start building that relationship even online. I like what you post, or this is what I learned from that content that you have posted. So I'll start connecting with you. So even if I call you and tell you so and so has been commenting on you, and that is how even when I started, for me even to go to see Dr. Ivan Meissner in America, I started of course also connecting with him. So when I go out there and I told him about me, he was like, wow, thank you very much, madam. Yes, I see you online and thank you for connecting with me.
I need you to pause there because I want to tell us that story nicely. But before you tell us that story, oh my gosh, you know we have 15 minutes left. I just want to check. Please open the windows. It is so hot. I am so hot. But I want to hear that story slowly.
Okay.
Because that one, I even shared it with someone and they asked me, are you okay? You know, like, that's not normal. But I need you to just share that story slowly. So Catherine says, I love how each generation has something to offer. Sarah, the resilience and wisdom, research, your children take part, you read, she loves that. And then we have Joy who says, how can I start, especially my last year of campus? I have no experience in the field. Do I start saving before starting the business or investing first and then starting? You can respond to that as we carry on.
Okay.
How do you raise finances for business? Somebody's asking. And then how do you deal with unhappy staff? And, Georgina says that, Joy, what are you passionate about? She's asking, what are you passionate about and how will it solve a problem? So she's just sort of emphasizing what you just said, that you need to know what you're passionate about and what problem are you solving. So let's go back to Joy. I think she's answering Joy, by the way, because Joy says, I'm in my last year of campus, I have no experiences, where do I start? So I think she's responding to that. Maybe you can just speak to that a little bit,
Okay.
and then we can proceed.
Okay, you can start with nothing. You can start with nothing. There are times I even start businesses. I don't get money from my business, just an idea. Now, let me say, maybe for her to understand, remember in 2020, when COVID-19 struck, very many people closed their businesses. They didn't know where to start, right? They didn't know where to start, but you see, there is technology. And I have seen many young people whom I'm so proud about start a business without anything. So what I did, I created a number of WhatsApp groups because I realized so many people are in the groups people were just posting things that were not very important. So I said, let me create groups so that people can start working together. They can maybe source things, and they started selling masks. So they would just go, maybe they know somebody who already has imported masks, so they would sell them online. And then from there, and of course, they are selling, but they don't have the item with them. So they would go, they pick those things because of the relationship with that person. They come, they supply to you, and then you pay them the money. You see, they are not importers of those products, but all they have done is to use technology to say, I have this product. I'm not the manufacturer, neither am I the distributor, but you have this product. So there was this lady who one time called me. I didn't know, we were in the same group together. It's a church group. And she told me, Sarah, you know what? I'm feeling so frustrated. Why? And she told me, you know what, I've been selling second-hand clothes, mitumba. I don't have money. I don't know what to do. And you see now because people think, of course, I think there was something, it was either in the newspaper or how it was passed to people that mitumbas are bringing COVID-19. So people could not even buy those clothes. So for her, she was like, no, I don't have any other business. So what do I do, Sarah? So I told her, and then I have two girls, they've closed school, they're here with me. I don't want them to continue sleeping and doing nothing. Yeah. So how do I engage them? So I had to quickly think. And I told her, it appears we are very good. How are you performing? She said, I was selling so much of the clothes. Then I told her, you know what? So you already have those customers, yes. Try to think of what you can sell to them. Nothing. I told her, no, start thinking, what can you do? That time I wanted her to start thinking in terms of food. I told her, right now, look at the problem that is there now. What is it that people are doing, everybody at home? Said, it's okay. I told her, listen, let me not waste so much time. Think of food. Now, what food can I sell? I told her, listen, don't cook the food, but think of this. I have a friend of mine in Moya. There's rice. What you do, just get the rice, package it in such a way that then I can connect you to someone who will do for you branding, and then go to those WhatsApp groups and say you are selling rice. And then also look for lentils, look for other grains, look for beans, look for black beans and all that. Then you remove the chaff. Make sure that what you sell is different from what is there in the supermarket and in the market. Then from there, lower the price just a little, and then you start saying this is what you are selling. Do you know that lady was later to tell me after 2 months? The business was even better than what she was doing before. You see, just that idea. Wow. And sharing. And so, and she engaged her children. I told her, instead of those girls sleeping and doing nothing, just being on the phone, give one of them maybe the lentils, let them remove the chaff from the lentils. Then the other one, give her maybe the beans. Yeah. You go to Moya, get the rice. Tell someone, or if it's not that, I can even tell that person instead of you going all the way. I'll connect the two of you. He'll send him the money. I'm sure you're not stealing your money. You see the power of networks now.
I'm telling you.
That money will put that in those vehicles that come from those sites, and then they bring, and then from there you go pick, you come, package and sell. It's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Yes. So you can start with nothing and sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Final story.
Yes.
And this one, I actually heard you speak about it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I want you to end with it because I was so inspired.
Okay.
I mean, everything you shared today, tonight, has been extremely inspiring.
Okay.
But this one, I was like, I can't understand it now. You went to BNI.
Yes.
Not only were you helped in all the different ways that you just described a short while ago, but you did not sort of get comfortable with that. You were like, I want to know who this person who set up BNI is.
Yes.
Please tell us about that and what that ended up culminating in.
Wow. What happened was that, you see, I'm very passionate about networking because I've seen how it has changed my life. Yeah. My businesses have changed. I've empowered a lot of people. I've seen growth in their life. I've seen change in their life. I've mentored many. I have coached many. I've worked with millions of people online and offline. And that is what really gives me a lot of fulfillment. And when I see universities who are not teaching about networking, I honestly feel very sad because I know it is a skill that can elevate us very fast. If I didn't join that network, though it took that short period for me, 2 years without any business, I continued giving business because I think after the end of 2 years, I think I'd given close to 8.5 million Kenya shillings to business. Of course, referrals, not my money, but referrals, of course, part of my money, which I was buying a few things from them, but connecting them to my networks. You see, wherever I went, if it is golf clubs, I would see someone, and I would quickly listen what this person does. If you are selling, say, dresses, or you are selling something, I would connect the two. Okay. Maybe you need something. And then, of course, learning the people within your network. What do they do? So when a need arises, I call them and connect the two immediately. They talk. And I make sure that, of course, that business takes place. So that is how I have grown people. Then with ideas, I sit, I listen to it, and I'm like, no, I think I can connect you to somebody who I think can help you so that you can grow faster.
But how did you then transition from that to I want to know the founder?
Yes, so that is where I'm coming to. So I kept on following him, listening to YouTube. I think I will know all his clips, what he talks about. And then I said, I want to go and meet him so that he can mentor me and so that I can also get another, say, more knowledge. And I just feel good about myself and that what I'm doing is the right thing. Okay. So what happened was, in 2018, I said, why can't I look for him? So I went to the American Embassy. I applied for the visa. I went first month, they denied me. I went in the second month, they denied me. I went the third month, they denied me. The fourth month, I went with only my passport and faith, and I said, I'm going to get it. And apparently, the person who was interviewing me was the same person. You'd queue, then you see, I would pray and say, God, I don't want to go to this person, but God always took me there.
To the same person?
So when I went with the Nini, I told him, you know what? I want that visa. I will go and come back. So I went. I was also a bit scared because, you see, I had never traveled to such a far-off place. And I had found out through a friend that, of course, he was going to be in that certain cruise ship. So I went, I connected, then I went there. So when I went there, of course, I knew...
So you paid for your ticket? You're not going to visit a relative?
No.
You went, paid for a ticket and went on a cruise because this guy was going to be on this cruise?
Yes. And I went and I talked to him. I told him I'm a member of BNI, Nairobi, Kenya, Mavuno chapter, and I've come here purposely to come and see you and talk to you, and I would like you to mentor me. And guess what? Of course, he had his own room where he was staying with his wife, and he told me, yeah, it's all right. And I told him what I have done for BNI, and I told him I'm always at the top in BNI. I've always performed very well. So he was very happy because if I tell you that I'm doing so much for you, I have brought this number of visitors, I have given this number of referrals, I've exchanged this amount of business, this is what I have done. Of course, he was very interested in me because, you see, when I say you support me in my business or in my ventures or anything that I do, you get interested in me, isn't it? So when I told him that, he told me, I want to mentor you and I want you to be a very good networker. And he gave me more tips and he was very happy about me. And that is at that point when he said, I would like to support you. Any support that you'd want, maybe I can support you. I can give you any ideas, but continue following me online and offline, wherever we go. And the following month, I went to Thailand because that is where he was holding the conference. So every time he had conferences, I would also go to where he was. And you can imagine, just because of what I did now, he made me, of course, a co-author of one of his books. So for me, it was like, wow.
So first, that's just mind-blowing. I want you to actually show this book so that people understand what you are saying, that you've
Yes.
authored a book.
Yes, this is the book. It's called Who is in Your Room?
And you co-authored it with the founder of BNI.
BNI. My name is here, yes. So, of course, the content of this book is very rich because it's all about who are your associates. Why should you be associating with someone who can't add any value to you? Someone who is always criticizing you in a negative way. Someone who never give any idea. Someone who try to bring you from here to down here and crush you like that. You can see that you can lift an egg, drop it, and then of course it crashes. You can't use that, and then you can't cook it. You can't even do anything with that egg because it's already crushed. That's what some people do. So in this book, there are two, of course, and also values. When you're starting this program, you talked about values.
Yes.
This book is about values. What values do you have? What values do you share with people? And so, again, it also talks about engines and it talks about anchors. You see, try to think of a ship. When a ship is, of course, settled somewhere, it is anchored in the sea, isn't it?
Right.
So it cannot move not unless it is moved. But look at an engine. When you get into a car and run the engine, what does it do? You give it power and it's able to move and take you to wherever you want. Now, you are supposed to associate yourself more with engines because they will give you power, they will give you energy, they will give you ideas, and they will improve your life. So that is what this book in summary talks about. Yes.
Wow.
So I feel so happy that I have done this, and I'm actually doing my 4th book, and I'm also preparing myself to do another book that is from a hawker to a business leader.
From a hawker to a business.
That was me when I was in the office. Yes, I used to hawk products.
Amazing. I want to clap. I want to say woo. I'm so excited. I'm so
Thank you,
privileged to know you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful for you and honored that you would accept to share your story.
Thank you.
You know, some of it really hard, some of it joyful,
Thank you.
but all of it amazing. And I, just want nothing but the best for you, and may the next couple of years for you be beyond your wildest dreams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
God
Rina.
bless the work of your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's episode. I can't believe it. The time has flown so fast. I just want to give a quick brief about Investable, the program that we talked about earlier on. It's a program that helps you understand how to invest. We're talking about entrepreneurship today. It's one of the subjects we talk about. But beyond entrepreneurship, how do you even figure out where to place your investments and the money that you are earning every single month or every other month? And so we take you through the process of thinking through investments based on your values, as Sarah has mentioned, and goals, and aligning them, and we help you to do that. It's a 5-week program. I won't go into the details because there's a link I have put in the description box. Click on it. There's a freebie. We have given you a free investing guide, and we will also be able to then send you emails with information on how you can get on the wait list and how you can join this program. We actually begin on the 24th of March 2022, and I can't wait to see you in the program, and we are excited about being able to do this. Sarah, thank you so much, and really excited about you being on this show.
Thank you.
So God bless you so much, and have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Thank you.